Firstly, I will talk about Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar Albukhary profile and life background. His full name is Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar Shah bin Syed Nur Albukhary. He was born in Al-Wusta, Kedah in 12 December 1951. His family is from Hadramaut, Yemen, before deciding to settle in Kedah. His father traveled to Central Asia to do business. Tan Sri Mokhtar has 7 siblings and he is the third child. Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar lived in such state of deprivation that his kampung house is located in Kampung Hutan Kerian. There has no beds, tables or chairs. This made it difficult for him to study. Even so, everything that happened must have its wisdom that made him a successful person. Tan Sri Mokhtar started his schooling in Al-Wusta, but when he was 9 years old, he went to Syed to live with his uncle Syed Omar in Johor Bahru. He was there from 4th grade to 2nd grade. Tan Sri Mokhtar then returned to his hometown in Al-Wusta and continued his schooling up to Form 5 at St. Michael's School. Actually, Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar is not a highly educated person. He never studied up to university level. However, this does not mean that he is ignorant. Most of his knowledge was gained through direct experience when he was active in the business world since childhood.
Next, I will talk about philanthropy and career of Syed Mokhtar Albukhary. Philanthropy. In 1976, Syed Mokhtar began his charitable effort by pledging half of his salary to 15 poorer households and the other half to his mother and siblings. 20 years later, in 1996, he established the Albukhary Foundation, which he continues to support today. As of 2013, his charitable contribution totaled more than $500 million. He was named a hero of philanthropy by Forbes Asia in 2014 for his contribution to refugees in Pakistan, orphans in Guinea, and disaster victims in China, Indonesia, and Iran. The Albukhary Foundation is a Malaysian-based international non-profit charitable organization based on the Islamic value of faith and compassion, which is taqwa and ihsan. The foundation does not discriminate on the basis of race, nationality, ethnic background, or religion because it is based on Islamic ideas. Albukhary Scholarship was established in 2005 to help academically disadvantaged students all around the world. Students from the Prince School of Traditional Art, Oxford University, IBN Haldane University, University of York, Philanthropy University, and 17 Malaysian universities, including AIU, are eligible for the scholarship. The Albukhary Equity Scholarship Regional Award, Leadership, Academic, and Service Excellence Award, Campus Residential Grant, and the Refugee Education Dream (RED) Scholarship are among the 5 types of scholarship offered by the program, which are open to all refugees and asylum seekers registered by UNHCR Malaysia. Syed Mokhtar and Zainab began their rice company in Kedah in 1990s. He went into the rice trading business after more success. After receiving a rice trade license from Lembaga Padi Negara, he worked even harder, and as a part with Zainal Hatim Haji Ambiak Bukhari, he was later received a sequence of supplier contract from government-linked firm. As his determination grew stronger, he began to diversify into other businesses. His next big step was into the logistic industry with the purpose of transporting their trading product at first. Plantation, property development, construction, engineering, power generation, infrastructure, and ports are all parts of his economic empire today. Syed Mokhtar Albukhary main sources of wealth come from engineering, automotive, and self-made. The RB Highcom MMC and Tradewin Plantation are part of Albukhary Organization of Companies, a work and family demand group. The majority of his fortune comes from investment in the RB Highcom and MMC Corp, both of which are publicly traded. MMC operations include ports, logistics, construction and engineering, whereas the RB Highcom is a core company with real estate and education holding. In 2017, the RB Highcom sold a 49.9% share in Malaysia carmaker Proton to Zhijagili in Chinese auto firm. Proton, which own more than fifth of the domestic market, will debut the X50 SUV in October 2020, a car built in collaboration with China Geely. Through his wholly owned firm, Syarikat Seaport Terminal Johor Sdn Bhd, a subsidiary company Syarikat Indra Citra Sdn Bhd, he owned 51.8% of Malaysian Mining Corporation. SKS Venture, which was awarded the responsibility of creating the site for a 2,100 MW coal-fired power station in Tanjung Malim, Johor, is owned by Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar and Zainal Hatim. Through his own company, Syarikat Ratu Jeneh, Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar owned a 32% stake in Pernas, Syarikat Perdana Padu Sdn Bhd and Corak Kukuh Sdn Bhd. Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar and Zainal both serve in the board of Syarikat Bina Puri Sdn Holding Berhad, in which Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar owns a 7.34% share. Apart from this, Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar and Zainal have a variety of business interests both in Malaysia and internationally.
Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar Albukhary had a lot of achievements. Among his achievements are Sentosa Transport Company, which was founded and started by him. This transport company trucks were used to launch a rice business. He received a contract to supply food to the military, which was one of the contracts he earned. He was able to sell rice in the military camps as a result of this. He also developed the port of Tanjung Pelepas (PTP), and he also owns a majority position in the MMC Corporation, which later grew into one of his biggest business. He was successful in convincing shipping companies like Mars Sealand, Denmark, and Evergreen Marine, Taiwan, to relocate from Singapore to Malaysia. He also the owner of Albukhary Foundation. Aside from being busy managing his business empire, he was also never forgot to contribute to charity work through Albukhary Foundation. Almost every year, the foundation organized 2 iftar to cater to 3,000 underprivileged people. Yayasan Albukhary is also busy with their project, including the management of the Malaysian Museum of Islamic Art, which opened in 1998. In 2001, the foundation also launched the Albukhary Tuition Program to help rural children pass their final school year examination. As a result, since then more than 80,000 students from 500 schools have benefited from this program. Albukhary Foundation also provides natural disaster assistance to victims of the earthquake in China, Pakistan, and Iran, as well as the tsunami disaster in Indonesia in 2004. The foundation also built an AIDS hospital in Uganda and girls' school in Nepal, as well as supporting the Sarajevo Science and Technology Center. From 1996 to 2006, the foundation almost contributed RM1 billion to charity.
I would like to elaborate about his business planning and strategy with Islamic management. Based on the success of Syed Mokhtar Albukhary, we can value that He has a good planning and strategy that have been implemented when he ran the business. After made some research, I found that Syed Mokhtar Albukhary implements a vision leadership. He organized a great vision by having a pure intention to help others. This can be proved from the implementation of Albukhary Foundation to help poor in education. The idea was planned with the main objective of which is help poor. This action of Syed Mokhtar Albukhary has symbolized good values of personality as a Muslim. Syed Mokhtar Albukhary also a confident and courageous person. He has a strong belief that he could be success in his vision. He also a risk taker and always struggle to make an improvement. He learned from mistake and never give up and very careful when he doing the business. He is such a versatile leader with ability to organize many different things. Next, Syed Mokhtar Albukhary also a generous person. He contributes some of his income for education, religion, and cultural activities. This means that Syed Mokhtar Albukhary did not use the property solely for his own benefit, but he invests part of it to the community with the aim of helping their welfare. It's so good. Furthermore, Syed Mokhtar Albukhary also an integrity person. He applies honesty and trust. He managed to get a rice trading license from Bernas. So, this had been proof that he gained a trust from other races stakeholders to collaborate with him. This action of integrity are leading to an ethical leadership. So, from all this plan and strategy, what can we relate with Islamic management? Did you notice that Syed Mokhtar Albukhary has applied Tawhidic concept in his business? Yes, exactly. At first place, Syed Mokhtar Albukhary has intentionally doing all his activities in the submission of Allah. The guidelines and goals are implemented according to Islamic law. No any operations occur like misleading, misuse, miscommunication, and others. He conducting activities depending upon the guidance of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, which is ultimately focused for akhirah aspect. He also execute all the duties prescribed by Allah. All these elements of Tawhidic concept that Syed Mokhtar Albukhary applied in his business are to gain a pleasure of Allah. For him, it is not only good in skills and knowledge, but must be good also in attitude and manners. With a good akhlaq, we can form a good organization and can achieve goals with a perfect ways.
In nutshell, Sheikh Mokhtar Al-Bukhari is the best example for all businessmen and women out there. This is because his business is in line with business and Islamic principle. He is follow primary resources of Islam, which are Quran and Sunnah, and also not forget about Ijma and Qiyas. He do not afraid of the risk, and those challenge make him strong and successful, as we can see now. And he once said, when we get the successful through the hard way, others' challenge will be easier for us. Delegations to be kind to others is also applied in Al-Bukhari Foundation. In Al-Zuruf, Allah said, we raise some of them above other ranks, and so that some make common words from others. Sheikh Mokhtar Al-Bukhari know his functions and role model to the society because of his characteristic. He also very generous to spend his money on refugees and poor person. And also, he also built house, mosques, and welfare center for whose are needed and society to use despite country and races. Sheikh Mokhtar Al-Bukhari is very committed in his work of business, even his time in starting business until now. He also like to contribute in charity which is money, and also build foundation to who are needed money for educations. Because of that, his business get blessing from Allah for his generosity and struggle, which Allah has promised in Surah An-Najm in Ayah 53-39. Allah said that man can have nothing but what he's truthful. We can see that Sheikh Mokhtar Albukhary gets successful business based on his energy, hardworking, and generosity. I hope Malaysians can make Albukhary as an example for them to be a successful entrepreneurships and manage business based on Islamic management and principle in this country. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, for the emphasis on the importance of Islamic management, the Islamic management built a good characteristic into the successful person himself. For example, for the Syed Mokhtar Albukhary, despite being a respected wealthy man, the humble nature he possessed made him never forget to be grateful for the blessing of Allah. In fact, he always be careful with the blessing that God has bestowed to him. He also said, sometimes the favors we can meet can ruin us. So we have to control so that the favors do not harm us. Okay, next. From the Islamic management also, it make him to contribute to the society. For example, he also from all of his foundation, he had donated $1 million ringgit to the society. For the example, he has donated to the Oxford Center for Islamic Studies, and also at the foundation that he make himself, such as the Yayasan Albukhary. And also he also donated to the non-Muslim organization. And the last, he also always being humble and never give up from his work. From all because of many business that he had possessed, he can got away from the problem, but he was a man that never knew the meaning of failure, and how he always learned from whatever mistake that he made. He also a careful person in a business, especially when it comes to buying and acquiring interest in a company project. From this, he has a superior personality that should be emulated by all parties around the country.